Are we good? We good? We are good. There we go. How's everyone doing? We're good. We're live. I don't know what happened there. I made the super bright decision to update OBS just before going live. So that might be it. Maybe. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? It's Friday. It's Friday. 1 second here. Pin that, pin message. Cool. Oh, Gabs Labs 22. Cheers. And the last time I asked about the same question 3 times. Sorry, I was working and watching the stream and I ended up not seeing. That's okay. That's okay. It happens. Just be aware if you ask multiple times. Usually, like, especially if you like at me, I usually do answer it for the most part, not always, but question. How is I'm playing around. Normally I do auto white balance or auto ISO. I'm tired of everything getting blown out the moment I hold like anything white in front of the screen. So I've got my ISO locked. The problem is the monitors that I use are dirt cheap that I bought at like Value Village. Like one of them's a 15-inch Dell from like 2011 with like DisplayPort to VGA adapter. So I don't know how the colors are. So if everything's too dark, let me know. I'll bump up the ISO. But I'm trying to avoid like everything getting blown out like it used to. Looks a little darker. Okay, let me bump that up a bit. So we're at, we'll try 2500. How's 2500? How's that? That might be a little too bright. Yeah, I can see the only benchies is like blown out. But that seems okay. Better, too much, too much. Okay, let's go down one. Go down one. There we go. So that's 2000. There we go. I think that's good. I think that's good there. Focus on me. Hi, camera. Hi. Cool. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's much better. That is much better. Because the problem I was having, I got super annoyed with it. I was watching an old stream. And I unboxed something, and it came in like, it might have been the Cheaty. And as soon as I held up something white, like it blew the white balance out. But now it doesn't. Like the brightness stays the same. So there we go. So there we go. So how's everyone doing today? I have no real plans today. Well, to be fair, okay. I had a plan, but then I forgot about an NDA. So we're not doing that. Plus it hasn't shown up yet. So we can't do what I originally had planned. So I'm hoping my new lens comes in today. It's supposed to be out for delivery right now, so we might fiddle with that. We're going to print some stuff. I've got, I picked up this stuff at Rapid. This is graphene filament. It's PET with graphene in it. And it's supposed to allow you to print PET or any filament really fast. That's what they were saying. I figure, you know what? We'll chuck her in the rat rig here because we're still playing around with that, and we'll see how it goes. Conductive. It's not conductive. It's only like 5% graphene. Now, they told me it wasn't abrasive because it's like self-lubricating. I don't know how much I trust that, but that's what I've been told. So I don't know. The V0 has a 0.6 obsidian in it. I think we're going to go with that. I think we're going to go with the V6. Just because yeah, we'll go with the V6. We'll go with the V6. I think. Or correction, the V0. Because the V0 has an obsidian in it. And it's easier to get it closer than these ones because that has an obsidian, but it's far away from the camera. Graphene like graphite. Kinda. it's kind of like how charcoal is a diamond. Charcoal and diamonds are made out of the same thing. It's just, you know, one's charcoal and one's a diamond. So they're carbon, but it's like the lattice structure is different. Camp time? Actually, now we can do camp. You guys want to do camp? I think that's online. How do we put camp? Let's put camp on the this guy. And then another thing I was going to talk about. So I had no plans. I don't know if I might try and turn the Friday stream, because it's print and chill Fridays, right? Because I stream 3 days a week and I can't always be building printers, right? We're going to run out of content at some point. Plus it's getting nice again. I'm flying quads again. So I'll probably do some stuff there. Yeah, we'll do camp. We'll do camp. So TLDR, I was thinking of maybe doing like a news segment or like a weekly roundup. Not sure if that will be a thing, if that will be like the point of the stream or part of the stream, but something that I was going to talk about, and I don't have to talk about anymore, because the company that only does stuff when you bitch at them on social media has already fixed their problem. So, this, I woke up to this. A few people DM me this. I put a little tweet out about it, but Bambu was basically going to do prevent you from talking about mods on their Facebook group. So they pretty much came out with a rule that said, you know, we're going to ban mod talk on their Facebook group. And I don't know about their Discord. I don't go on their Discord, but I'm on there. So ban talk about the hydro, ban talk about the carbon fiber rods swapping to steel because the carbon fiber rods are destroying themselves, like that sort of thing. Ban talk of any mods, blah, blah, blah. So for reference, we did that with Voron. Years ago, talk of mods on the Voron Discord was banned. It was the stupidest, one of the stupidest things we've ever done as a community. The thinking was, it came from a good response, was a Voron is a printer built to a spec, right? We designed it to function to a spec, and we don't want you modding it, at least on the official Discord, because that just confuses people. And yeah, it was stupid. We've learned from that mistake. But, you know, telling a bunch of people who are involved in 3D printing not to mod their machine on the official Discord, that solves nothing. But that just fractures your community and just makes it more tribal. It's not smart. So they've already announced, let me find it here. We are reversing course. Mods will be allowed, but some mods will still void. So that's fine. It's fine to void your warranty. Like, if something you can print on the machine makes your AMS better than factory, then you could just print it. Why not? Sure, you void the warranty, but that's an acceptable risk to some people. But outright banning talk of mods, especially when you don't sell half the parts to fix your printer, like your carbon fiber rods that eat themselves after heavy use eventually, potentially. I've seen pictures and video. It's kind of a bad thing to do. So at least they're undoing that. They actually this just came. Oh, okay. The last post we shared are partially misunderstood. It's mostly our fault for not making it clear. Some decisions were not. I'd like to take to make it clear. Everyone is free to modify their hardware as they see fit. After you purchase a machine, you're the owner of the entire 3D community. But okay, at the same time, it's important to note that any hardware done can lead to voiding the warranty. It's best to read the warranty policy there. When it comes to mod, it also makes the job of the customer a bit harder in case there is. As mentioned in opening a ticket, this is not a validated warrant right from the start, but right. Wrapping up, we like to report, okay. There you go. So if you want to pause and read it, there you go. This is pretty much the stance that Voron had, was that basically, hey, it's a pain to like help people when they mod their printer and we don't know, the printer is designed to work to a spec, and once you start modding it, it makes it hard. Don't mod your printer. And we abandoned that because it was a stupid policy and we got rid of it. So good for Bambu to undo their idea. A print of the week. We do the community contest. That's another thing. It's like mid-March or mid-May. Oh God, it's mid-May already. Anyways, we need to sort out the community challenge. We got to get that set up too. At least they don't send Pinkerton agents. I understood that reference. So yeah. So there you go, Rat Rig PAM. Okay, so on Rat Rig, it's PAM. Okay, so how do we do Rat Rig PAM? PAM for RAT OS. Print area mesh. Adds a dynamic mesh calibration to your printer. Only the first layer area. Can calculate the relative preference. Adds adaptive. Okay. So we got to do some SSSation. Okay, we're in. Okay, so what PAM is like, I guess, the rat rig version of CAMP, and CAMP is the Klipper version of whatever the heck the Mark IV has. Although I think CAMP came out before the Mark IV. But basically, you only probe the area that you're going to be printing in. Speeds it up and it gives you a more accurate probe because you're not probing the whole bed. You're only probing the area that you're actually going to be printing in. So SSH to your Pi and execute. So CD. Cool. Git clone. Boom. Cloning PAM. Batch. Done. Activate. Go down to the section where you mod all the stuff. There we go. User overrides. Include PAM. Save, restart. Class, please plug your ears. Oh, I forgot there's another thing here. Okay. Oh, if you're using Klipper. Okay, we're not using Klipper. We're using RAT-OS. So there we go. Okay. And then call PAM instead of bed mesh calibrate. Okay. And then we need to put this in soft fever. Copy. So let's open up Orca Slicer. Downloads, Orca Slicer. I should probably pin this to the desktop at some point. There we go. Took it a minute. Do you want to restore them? No. Okay. So prepare. Machine G code. Okay, machine start G code. Or wait, no, I think, how does it work? Okay, modify. Okay, so I just changed this to this. Cool. Save. Okay. Cool. So there's the bed mesh thing. Okay. PAM could calculate, don't need adaptive priming. And then add this. Okay, so machine, RAT-OS, printer.cfg. Where'd it go? Where'd printer.cfg go? .cfg, okay. Hello from Germany. Hello, Max. Okay, so add that, save and close. And then there's also, if you want to update, add this to the Moonraker. Okay. Moonraker. Okay, save and restart. Plug your ears, class. It didn't. There it goes. Okay. Can you not? I think you can. but they have, because there's the way Rat OS, everything is nested and everything, they have their own version of camp for Rat OS. Oh, the music. Yeah, let's put the music on. So it's basically, this is camp. It's just RatRig's version or instance of camp because they've got all this wonderful nested stuff. So now we need to print something. I still have that PLA in there. By the way, if you're wondering how the Fox turned out, it had some layer shifts because we didn't have Z-hop enabled and it kept building up boogers on the nozzle and it got kind of annoying. So let's just do a cube. Let's just do a good old-fashioned Nero cube here and make sure this is working. So 3D, Nero cube, speed. Let's bump these speeds up. These are rookie numbers, normal printing. Jeff gifted 5 community memberships. Cheers, Jeff. Music's a bit too loud. It's the same loudness it always is. Outer wall. Outer wall. This is the trick. Outer wall, you slow it down. Inner walls, you go fast. First layer, we can go. Top surface. Yeah, that's fine. Travels. Slice plate. There we go. PLA, not crazy loud. Okay, can I print from the printer this time? Will it let me? No, it's not letting me. Cool. Cheat code. Well, first layer is slow anyways. You're not going to notice Excel when you're printing at first layer speeds. There we go. So we're going to let this start, and then we'll grab that and we'll play with the graphene. Can you talk more about when to use Z-hop? I always use Z-hop. Think of it this way. I come from a more machinist background. I'm not a machinist, but I'm a tool maker by trade, an injection mold maker. So I used a lot of manual machines, bridge ports, lathes, etc. Whenever you're moving your cutter around, you don't drag it across your work surface, okay? You don't drag your end mill while it's running across the work surface. That's you don't do it. It's not smart to do. So why would you be dragging your hot nozzle across your print? Why would you do that? Why would you drag the hot nozzle across your print? It doesn't make sense. Lift your nozzle up and travel. That's you prevent gunk building up on your nozzle, and you prevent it from catching on stuff. So always use Z-hop. Always use Z-hop. Do I prefer Orca over Super Slicer? I don't know, because I still use Super Slicer with my Vorons for the most part. So, yeah. Anyone hitting? Okay, Greg, what filament are you printing and what temperature? Is that why your work has scratches? Exactly. You're dragging a hot nozzle that's hotter than the melted filament across the work surface. How big of a Z-hop? I usually do double layer height. Usually. So if it's 0.2 layer height I'm printing at, I'll do 0.4. Usually. I'm just waiting for the nozzle to heat up because there's a blob on it I got to clean off. Orca is really nice. So Orca takes Bambu slicer, which is Prusa slicer with a really nice interface, but a bunch of stuff removed, puts it back in, and then adds some nice calibration stuff. Although it doesn't have organic supports, which, to be fair, mainline release Prusa slicer still doesn't have organic supports. You have to run the beta version. So one day. Most excited about when it comes to Z-probe solutions for the Voron? The near future, it's tap. Tap's the current hotness, and I really like tap. The fact that, you know, this is my nozzle probe, so that I can go, you know, home my printer. Oh no, I have forgotten that my hand is in the print surface. Oh no, it's coming down. It's gonna touch me. Oh no, cool, whatever. The fact that you can home off your hand. Or, you know, a print that you forgot in there. They just don't care. I love nozzle probes. Nozzle probes, ever since TAP is great. I really like the Mark IV implementation with their load cell. Nozzle probes are great because you are actually probing the true surface you are printing on. There are other alternatives in certain applications. They make sense. If you got a really big printer, something like Beacon, where you can quickly probe the entire bed surface accurately, makes some sense. Now, granted, you're probing metal. So if you can't print on glass, you aren't probing the PI, you're probing what's below the PI, but it allows you to make a very quick, rapid bed mesh. So it does make sense in that application. But like a small printer like a Voron, where half the time you're not even running a bed mesh, you're only doing the 4 corners, being able to probe the whole thing fast don't matter at that point. Apollo for the camera fund. I'm really looking at that FX3 right now, because you know what did it for me? I made the mistake. Oh, there's a blob behind it. Okay, so let's see if this works. Oh. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, why did that error out? Internal error on PAM. Okay, internal on start print bed mesh, start internal error on command PAM. I did not save, I could have sworn I saved the printer.cfg. It's right here, PAM. It's right here. I have it in the printer.cfg. Save and restart. Have I tried them? We tried them on the SK Cube and we had some issues. Camera fun, also Hoppery, Zelda, Tears of Cross, $10 cheers. I want to get Tears of the Kingdom. I really like Breath of the Wild, but it'd be like you wouldn't see me for a week, put it that way. So I'm putting it off. Have you activated the exit? The exit? No, I've not. So why are we getting this error? Let me double check here that I followed everything. Okay. So this, I made this my copy that. Change G code. Okay, that save. Okay. Include this line at the end of your printer.cfg if using RAT OS, which I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, we have it right there. Include PAM RAT OS. It's right there. Okay, that for this optional PAM could calculate. So I put this in there. Adaptive priming. I've already put this in here. Do I? Oh wait. No, I didn't bother with this. This is optional. I didn't bother with this, but I have this. And I put that. So why did you... There goes that again. I could feel it from here. I can feel when the fan kicks on from here. Let's try this again. At the end, is that it? Does it have, it shouldn't have to be at the end. I think, but at the end they just, like, I think they just mean at, like, in this file, like down here where the overrides are. Like, I don't think it has to be at the very bottom. Nothing else that is an include has to be at the very bottom. It has to be the very last line. Then, okay, I'll do that. But can you explain to me why no other include has to be the very last line? Because no other include x.cfg has to be the very last line. Yeah, includes can be anywhere. Like, they just mean put it down here in the add any user override section. That's all they're meaning. So. The order of includes is, okay, well. Why are you complaining about Z offset now? What is going on here? Oh, I put it down here. I've never like had any errors with includes being like, I just normally mash them all at the top. If you have two same name macros. Well, we'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. What happened to the audio? What do you mean what happened to the audio? Oh, that's the noise compensator trying to take out the blow emitter on you here when this thing boots up. So it does say it here. It does say put this at the end of your printer CFG if you use RAT OS. But I just put it at the top of the include user modification section. I didn't put it at the very bottom of the user modification. So we'll give that a try. Yeah, Pedro knows a bit more about it. It's just, I've never had an issue where the order of operations for the includes mattered. So I'm kind of like, how come it matters in this instance? Because you think it would just load them all up at once. So. Camp is much simpler, but Camp RAT OS has its own thing with all the generated, like the RAT OS config is its own beast, and I don't think just throwing Camp in it would probably function as well as we would hope. Camp on something like this running pure Klipper makes sense, but with the way RAT OS is with all its like nested configs that reference each other, just throwing Camp into there would probably make it a little bit of a mess, and you'd probably be getting random errors. PAM is Camp. It does the exact same thing. It just is Camp specifically for RAT OS setups. They do the same thing. They do the exact same function. It's just it's implemented slightly different because of the way RAT OS is structured. RAT OS. I've actually really liked RAT OS. It takes a little to get used to because of the way like how you change stuff. But go watch the live stream where we installed RAT OS on this. It was beautiful how simple it was. What are we doing today? A bunch of random stuff. No real plan. Gonna give away some filament. Do you want to win some Polymaker filament? There's a link in the video description. Go enter, win some. Nope, air it out. Start print bed back. What is going on here? What is going on here? Export G code. Let's try this again. Because I did copy it differently. Okay, let's try this again. What are the? It's called TAP. It's specifically for Vorons. It's specifically for Vorons. Print the Orca cube. No, I got my own cube. I'm going to use my own cube, damn it. Is it start print or print start? I don't know. I used this. Let me see where the macros at. Do they have macros? I think it's start print. Yeah, it's start print. Yeah, they have it start print macro. Yeah, it's start print. There's like a blob back there I'm trying to get rid of. Get off there. So preheating extruder. Okay, I think it's working now. Okay, so it did the Z tilt. Now it's going to do PAM. So it should only probe. Nope. Kernel error on command PAM. Put the include line above the PAM. I had it though. That's how we originally had it. Click update all. Okay, let me update everything. Check for updates. Update all. Yeah, we'll do an update all. Maybe that. Did I restart RadOS? I did not. I did not. Putting Klipper on an Ender 2, did I ever do that? I don't have an Ender 2. I put Klipper on an Ender 3. The thing is, okay, bringing in a little secret. Just because you can put Klipper on a really cheap budget printer doesn't always mean you should. Because while I'm not in focus, bring it back, there we go. While you can put Klipper on pretty much anything, the problem is once you put Klipper on it, you'll be able to outrun the hardware easily. So putting Klipper on something where the hardware limits you quite a bit can cause issues. So it's not always a good idea. It does open you to a lot of, like, especially if you want to play with a bunch of the cool stuff that Klipper adds, there's no reason to not put Klipper on stuff. Just be aware, it's like putting a turbo on like an old Honda Civic, right? You don't always want to put a turbo on a Honda Civic. right? Because it's still a Honda Civic. So, yeah. Okay. Well, it updated. Everything's up to date, so I didn't break anything. Let's try the cube again. Turbo all the things. Like, yeah, the web, you put it this way. I'm of the opinion, if you're putting a Raspberry Pi on something, you might as well put Klipper on it. That's just kind of how I like it. If I'm putting a Raspberry Pi on it, I'm putting Klipper on it. But if the printer is running standalone and you don't have a Pi on it, there's really, if you're fine with it, run it like that. PID first, E steps. No. Okay, yes. Okay, the only E step you should ever adjust is your extruder. If you have to adjust your X, Y, or Z E steps, your printer is mechanically unsound. You got to fix that first. There's very odd cases, and odds are you should never have to do X, Y, Z end stops. So yeah, PID tune. Make sure all your end stops work. Make sure your printer actually moves and functions properly. Calibrate your E-steps. When you tell your printer to push your extruder to push 100 millimeters of filament, it should push exactly 100 millimeters of filament. If you're under extruding or over extruding, fix it in your slicer. Do not fiddle with your E-steps. E-steps are a mechanical thing. You tell your printer to push 100 millimeters of filament, it pushes 100 millimeters of filament. So set your E-steps correct for that. After that, you do input shaper, pressure advance. If you do input shaper first, you do pressure advance after. If you do pressure advance and then input shaper, you have to redo pressure advance because your pressure advance will affect your input, or correction, your input shaper value will affect the pressure advance value. And then also Z offset, do Z offset, during the mechanical checkout. Voron tap for enders. No, because the bed on an ender is not stable enough. It's too weeble wobbly. CO6 and Klipper is okay for you. I actually restored it back to default, just so I could have the Pi back. I didn't want to waste a Raspberry Pi on. To do input shape, you need an accelerometer. Technically, no. There is a way of doing input shaping where you do a print, and you basically kind of like how you do pressure advance, where you do a print, you look at the print, you do some measurements, and you base your value off the print. With input shaper, it's not the most accurate. It's better than nothing though. But if you have the ability to do it with a accelerometer, do it with the accelerometer. Okay, let's see if this works. No. Why is it erroring? Oh, start print bed mesh PAM. User filament, user presets. I don't have filament. I have one profile for PLA. Why is this not working? This is I'm using the soft fever. Mesh config. That, okay. Yeah, let me just, can I just run PAM? Must home access first, okay. Disabling PAM. Well, the thing is, I want PAM to work. That's what we're trying to get working is PAM. Like that's what we're trying to do. Okay, PAM. Okay, PAM works, but this is the error right here. It's internal error on command PAM, internal error on command start print bed mesh, internal. So PAM by itself works. It's just, it's not working during the call up for a print start. You can use camp if you can't get PAM to work. Yeah, something in the print start is iffy. Yeah. So here's the print start. There's your mesh config. And then start print. Like, nothing here looks funky. Yeah, clear the bed mesh. It shouldn't be calling up a bed mesh. Yeah, there's no bed mesh. Or, oh, there's the current bed mesh. Why are you opening that in the Cheaty? F off, Cheaty. Downloads. Open with. There we go. ++. Okay, here's my starting G code. So we got this stupid thumbnail. Thank you, Bambu Slicer Legacy stuff. Okay. Exclude object define. There we go. Type config, mesh config, start print, extruder there. So there's the start. There's your mesh config. Do I need to? Go away. I followed the instructions one-to-one. Adds this. So install. I did that. Activate, which I just added this. I modified my slicer profile. I don't use Cura. I skipped this because this is optional. And then I have this, which is the adaptive prime. Like, they're... Like, everything was copy and pasted. Like, it shouldn't be funky. Like, here's PAM. It's right here. Should it have this underscore here? Should it start with that underscore? Okay, PAM/RATOS config. PAM, and there's RATOS config. Yes, it should. Try removing the adaptive priming. Okay, let's try that. Let's printer.cfg. Let's get rid of that adaptive priming section. So we're just going to do just basically get rid of this. So the only downside is without the adaptive prime, it's going to do the blob in the corner, which depending on how the bed mesh is, might be a little out there. But we'll see. Okay, try printing again. Hey, Kelvin. Just be clear, I've never used PAM. Oh. It's just really weird that it doesn't seem to want to work. Like there ain't much to these instructions. Like we included pam.ratos.cfg, and there's pam.ratos.cfg. Clears the bed mesh, loads a PAM profile, and there you go. And you got all this wonderful clip code there. So I do believe it should be working. And if I just type PAM, it works. Yet when it calls up PAM at the start of a G code, you get this, internal error on command PAM. But if I just type PAM, it'll do a bed mesh. First time printer builder, build the Prusa. If you've never built a printer before and you're not that familiar with 3D printers, I'd say recommend the Prusa. Maybe the pie is cooked. It better not be cooked. Well, we'll give this one more try, and then I think we'll try camp instead. And imagine it can go out of bounds. That is true. Actually, that might be it. Let me see here. Let's see here. So do your bed mesh or do your gantry calibrate. Seems to be working. I like this filament, but it is really gummy. Oh, this Hotend's oozing like a mofo. That's what's going on. Un momento, por favor. Once we get this printing, I got to tighten this Hotend up. It's a little loose. Where is my Hotend tightener tool thingy? Ah, there it is. Oh, that is oozing like a mofo. One second here. So I'm going to pause the print. And then I'm going to drop the bed, go in there and tighten it. Because it's a little off. And by a little, I mean, holy shit, is it oozing. Okay, so let's there we go. So there we go. There we go. So that's the first thing we're doing today. Let's get the A0 out. And I got some filaments stuck in there. Did it work? Yeah, so so the issue was it was trying to do its adaptive purge. So normally it does the little poop purge over here, and the macro should move it inside of the new print volume so it doesn't do it anymore, but it was causing an error. So by disabling the purge over here, or disabling the adaptive purge and just have it purge normally, CAMP itself seems to be working. So I think we're okay now. So now we're going to play around with some graphene filament. Going to camp the V0. What does, okay, class, to help out Justin here, what does camp do? Can somebody tell me? We're going to review part 1 of the stream today. What does camp do? What does camp do? What does camp do? Bed mission print area. So Sparks Tech, you get a gold star. So what camp allows you to do is, instead of doing a bed mesh of the entire bed, you only bed mesh the area where you are printing. This saves you time and it gives you a more accurate bed mesh, because again, you're only meshing the little area that you're printing in. This looks a lot worse than it probably is. Okay, now class part 2, and this one's a bit of a trick question. On the V0, can I have an astute student point out where the bed probe is on the V0? How the probing system for the V0 works? Do we have any volunteers in class that are able to point out where the probe is on the V0? Steve, there ain't one. Exactamundo, you get a gold star. So yes, camp would make no sense because there's nothing to probe. So there's nothing to adaptively mesh because there ain't no mesh. It's actually running pretty good, and we still got some room though. I'm gonna have to like hot tighten that or something. So yeah, there ain't no mesh. When there ain't no mesh, there ain't no mesh. Okay, let's load up a profile for this guy. So let's add a V0. I haven't added a, oop. We're gonna add a, all the way at the bottom, a Voron V0 with a 0.4 nozzle. You know we have a 0.6. I wish we had more nozzle sizes. Okay, I'm gonna add that. Okay. Oh, we're gonna put you here. So this machine has a 0.6 nozzle. So where is machine cheat code? Extruder. So we actually have a 0.6 nozzle. That's that up. Nozzle timer. There we go. 1.6. Basic information. I don't know what any of this is. What is G-code thumbnail? Cool. Machine G-code. Okay, we gotta get rid of all of this. Goodbye. Yeah, it's got no bed mesh because it's so small. If you need a bed mesh, to bed mesh a 120 millimeter by 120 millimeter Mike 6 cast aluminum tooling plate, you need help. Save. So this has a V0 or 0.6 in it, I believe. I think we got the 0.6. Yeah, we got a 0.6 in there. And hopefully the obsidian handles metal filament coming off of it pretty good. Okay, so we got that. Cool. So, first layer 50. Cool. Speeds and feeds are fine. I'm not going to mess with that. Where is my flow, though? Where is my flow? Others. Others flow. Okay. 0.6. 0.58. Inner wall 0.56. Inner wall 0.6. Surface 5.6. Sparse infill 8. Top solid infill 6. Always under extrude port. There we go. Two yellow. Okay. That looks good. Strength. Cool. We'll just leave that alone for now. Speeds. There we go. It is a V0, and I'm not running crazy steppers. I don't even have where's my travel tab? Travel. First layer 50, first layer of that. Outer wall, inner wall, small perimeters. Just travels 350. Okay. Cool. Slice plate. Let's see how this works. How long would take mesh V24? V24 actually meshes pretty quick. It actually does mesh pretty quick. It actually doesn't take too long to mesh. There you are. Okay, I gotta put some filament in you. So I'm going to heat you up to 220. And actually, I forgot. This is PET. So this ain't this filament. I gotta. How do I adjust you? This is PET. Cooling. Filament. What's my temps? So apparently you don't need to print this stuff hot. It recommends like 65 to 80 on the bed. So we'll leave the bed that. But 230 for the filament. So 240 for the first layer and 230. And 65? Yeah, 65 on the bed. I can't spell. Graphene PET. Not a PETG, it's just PET. Cool. That. Can't change the bed type, whatever. Save. Okay. So now we gotta load some filament in this guy. Don't forget, load it clockwise. Always load clockwise. It feels really stiff. Like, cleaning off metal is hot. Okay, there we go. Okie dokie. Upload and print. NeuroCube, PET. Let's see how this goes. My SVO6 takes 15 minutes to mesh? What the heck? Why so long? Okay, I can report that dried, solidified 17.4 stainless filament comes off an obsidian auto really nice when it's hot. And this guy is gooping up pretty bad. So pause. Drop that 100. Oop, other way. I don't know why this thing is leaking so much. I had to try and take the sock off. Oh my God, that's why. Oh, that'll do it. Oh, the spacer ain't tight, that's why. Oh my God, there's so much filament. Oh my God. Ah! Shit. Shit. Where did I put the sock? Oh, it fell underneath. That's that. Okay. Oh my God. Maybe I should have heat tightened this thing before putting it together, eh? Hey, class? Resume. Our Z offset's probably not good. I'll put the sock back on after. Ah, it's hot. That's why. Yeah, it's UHF, right? So I didn't have the UHF adapter wasn't tight. Oh God, this sock is filled with filament now. Ah, it's still hot. Ah! That's hot. I think we're okay now. Just trying to clear out as much of this filament because it's just going to carburize if you leave it in there. Sock suck. No, you want a sock on a Hotend like this. Okay, that's heating up. Okay. So what was I talking about before we got really sidetracked over the last like half hour? I can't remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about? Let me check, see if my package was delivered. No, not that email account. It's the business email. FedEx? Ooh, I got a package from FedEx. Out for delivery. The UPS one is out. Ooh, what did I get from FedEx? I don't even know what I got from FedEx. That will be exciting to see. Not doing this. Yeah, that's the one nice thing. Like, literally, Revo is great because you just hand tight, you go. None of this, like, hot tightening. Oh, no, I screwed up and now it's just going to blob everywhere mess. Ah! I gotta raise my set up a bit. It's a little close to the bed. There we go. It's chaos, eh? It's always chaos. And this filament is really thick. Oh well, first few layers are gonna be squished. Okay, while that does that, I'm gonna go check the mail. So I'll be back in a second. You guys can watch that. Let me check that email again. Hopefully I read that wrong. Oh, your package will be delivered. I saw it was out for delivery this morning. Why did you just send me an email saying will be delivered? It's always a little worrying when you look outside and you're expecting a package and there ain't no package and you're just kind of like, Okay, I will say this is printing much better now. ABS or ASA for printed printer part, doesn't matter, just buy good quality filament of either. Both will serve you just fine. Belted Z or Tri-Zero with box screw. For what printer? Tap changer. I did see it. If they actually make it to production, or not production, but if they actually make it to release, I will be impressed. It's not the first time I've seen a tool changer variant of a Voron. I've yet to see one actually get adopted by anyone. So a lot of the times it works good until it doesn't work, because you're doing tool changing without repeatable results, because you're using 3D printed parts, and they'll work good enough until you start to need to do 1,000 of them per print reliably, and stuff isn't exactly repeatable. That's the biggest problem with tool changer. It's repeatability. That's why there's really not a lot of them out there. Any tips for printing alloy 910? I've never printed it. Follow the manufacturer's recommended stuff. Just submitted my last final project for the semester. Yay! Careful on ABS Plus for tap. How so? Oh yeah, ABS Plus a little too flexy. I'll be honest, eSun ABS Plus ain't what it used to be. It used to be a lot better. Do you buy a Voron kit or get a kit? It used to be the only way to build a Voron was to buy parts individually. And then kits came out. And at first the kits were kind of hit and miss quality wise. So it didn't really make a ton of, for some people it didn't make sense, for some it did. But kits have gotten really good. And also the problem is price. You're not gonna be able to self-source as cheap as a kit. Hello? Yeah, no puppy. Buy a kit. Like some people are still like, oh, like Carrie buying a kit or self-sourcing nowadays is a badge of honor. Congratulations, you spent more than you needed to. Most of the kits are just take what's on AliExpress and throw it in a bag anyways, unless you're going with like a good quality kit like the LDO kits, so. The first Vorons, yeah, the first like 20 of them, well, 18 of them technically. So I gotta clean all the gunk off that while it's still hot. Yeah, the matinee start time. Okay, so let's make sure this is nice and tight. So that's a 10 mil. Okay. There we go. Wow, this thing is really, really not happy with the input shaping. Look how rounded the corner is on that. These corners are meant to be sharp. Although the text came out pretty good. Okay, I should probably not do that while that's stupid hot. I got a home in again? Okay, I guess I got a home in again. Or I could move that. 0.05 for the PA? That might be it. Let me drop the PA. Actually, I think you're right. The PA is probably way too high. We'll try it again. So let's see here. Let's see. G. Did the key work fine? Functionally, it's fine, but its Klipper config is way funky, and I hesitate to recommend the printer right now. So it's got some, until it's been on the market for a bit and they kind of sorted out, it's got some teething issues. Honestly, I don't recommend, other than like the Bambu machines, I really don't recommend any of the new crop of the high-speed Core XYs that are popping off everywhere. Because it's just too many funkies, way too many funkies people are Like, it just, I don't trust them. Like, put it this way, if if the Bambu does show up for me, or correction, the Bambu, if the K1 does show up, they said they were going to send me one, and then I haven't heard back from them in a while. We'll see how it goes. The unboxing stream won't involve any printing on that machine. We're not going to print a damn thing on that machine when it shows up. It's going under the knife as soon as it shows up. FL7 V400 good. I have one. It works pretty good for Delta. I don't use it a ton because it's absolutely massive. So it's not in this room, it's in the spare bedroom. But yeah, but why though? Because it's got some, I don't have high hopes of it being a long-term reliable printer. And everyone who's like, let's be honest, anyone can take it out of the box and print it. That's all I've seen people do with it, is take it out of the box and do the demo prints and a few other prints. I want to deep dive into that printer and take a look at the mechanics of it, because let's be honest, printing something fast isn't that impressive anymore. We had an Ender 3 running Klipper doing like 20-minute benchies before on stream. Like, that's not impressive. But I've seen a few pictures of what I have seen in person and what other people have shared of their machine, and I think diving into the electronics and especially the mechanicals of the printer, you'll get more education about the printer than me just taking it out of the box and hitting print on a demo print. So you are not going to get a K1 now. I don't know. It's fun when you show up to their booth and they know who you are. I am the troublemaker, and then I'm like, hey, if I'm the troublemaker, where's the source code for your Klipper version? Hey, you know, you're violating the open source license on your printer. All you have to do is share the source code. You don't need a meeting to do it. All you do is you just take your source code and you just upload it to GitHub. That's all you have to do. You don't need a meeting to do that. Like, let's be honest. Whatever you're doing ain't special. You didn't figure out some inventive way to make Klipper better. If anything, you made it worse because you hit a bunch of the functionality. So don't hide your shame and release the source code and follow the license. At least that way people can fix the printer that you're selling to them. But they won't do that. Like, you know, it's good when you go up to the booth at the trade show and you're like, hey, are you going to follow the license? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. The small YouTubers praise it. Here's the thing. I think your expectation and your reaction to these printers depends on your background. If all you did was play around with cheap budget off-the-shelf printers for the past couple years, and that is your reference point, a printer going fast and printing decently at speed is very impressive. But if you come from a background where you've been playing with high-speed Core XYs, and you're around people that have been playing with high-speed Core XYs for years, and you've done speed printing on an Ender 3 where you just took a stock machine and threw Klipper on it and you saw how fast it could move. And let's be honest, a stock Ender 3 ain't anything special to write home about. And the fact that that can move fast, you're less impressed with these new machines because you look at them, you're like, these are built really cheap. And I don't expect long functionality out of them. And they're not cheap. That's the problem. They're built really cheap because high-speed Core XY is not a cheap motion system. There's a reason people stick with bed flingers on cheap machines. But now people are spending several $100s on these machines. It's not the disposable price for some. So, the SV07. That printer is disappointment to a T. Okay, we are under extruding here. Yeah, we are under extruding with this filament. If anything, it looks like we're over extruding, but it's under extruding. sock fell off. There we go. I want to release the code. Well, funny thing, Creality is going to be at Murph. So, just pull a Naomi and just walk up and be like, hey, where's my source code? Rat rig is huge. It is, but it's also, this machine scales bigger a lot better than the Voron. So I'll be honest, this thing goes up to 500 millimeters cubed. That is 350. Someone should sue them. The problem is with open source, usually there's not a lot of money there. Like, here's the thing. The shitty thing is you can only defend your license as much as you're willing to pay for it. Like, a license is only worth anything if you're willing to defend it. As shitty as it is, that's how it is. Okay? So what happens is if a company steals from an open source project and the open source project doesn't have the funds to defend it, like take them to court, and the community just kind of goes meh, then nothing happens and they just keep doing it, and eventually it doesn't matter anymore. So the best thing you could do as a community is stir the pot up. So anytime you see a company doing something not great for the community, you call them out on it, and hopefully they take action, because you know you hit them where it hurts, their pocketbook. If you can't afford to take them on in court, you can cause shit that will make them lose money. That's basically the only option, as shitty as it is half the time. G-Tech, yeah. So, but you know, everyone's like, oh my God, Klipper is great. And then you got people on Twitter that are members of the community going, I don't care about open source. No, I'll grant it. My stance on open source has changed over the years. I'm not a politician. I'm allowed to change my thoughts and opinions on things as I learn new things. It's great. You should do it sometime. But yeah, you've got somewhat prominent people in the community posting, you know, stuff like, you know what, I just don't care about open source. Let the lawyers figure it out. And it's like, you can't. These are open source, community-driven projects that literally don't have the funds for lawyers. I kind of know how much lawyers cost when it comes to defending open source IP. I'm not going to go into it, but it's not cheap. Do you do anything special with my waste filament? I throw it in the garbage. It goes in the bin. What do I need to back up? I need to reinstall an OS on my Pi. What I would recommend, if you are going to, if it's a normal Klipper install, let me go to a printer with a normal Klipper install. Make sure you back up your printer.cfg, your, and any other stuff. So if you got a macro.cfg, anything like this. I got an umbilical on this one, so an umbilical.cfg. Wow, the display MCU is cranking. It's doing so much work. Displaying this is so much work. But basically back up any of these files here that you've modified or are special to your printer. Back up your Moonraker. Yeah. I would like to build a Voron 2.4 but can't print ABS. If I use the PIF program, is the Voron enclosed and safe to print the other parts? So what PIF does, PIF, for those that don't know, if you want to build a Voron and you can't print ABS parts, because we recommend you use ABS parts for Vorons, they're enclosed printers. Don't print them in PLA or PETG, you will have a bad time. The parts that you get with PIF are all the parts that you are required to, or you require to build a functional printer. So what that means is you get everything that will make the printer go burr. What you won't get are the skirts. What you won't get are the panel clips. What you won't get are, like, little wire covers. Like you basically don't get anything that's cosmetic or enclosure related. Now, here's the thing. Those parts are not in the enclosure. So you can print them out of PLA, PETG, or if you just want to throw a garbage bag over the printer and print them in ABS, then go ahead. So. Is it worth using the Pad 7 when building a Voron instead of Raspberry Pi? Up to you. I've got a Pad 5. Personally, I like Pad 5 more. I like the form factor. I think it gels more with most printers. The Pad 7's kind of big. But functionally, take a step back and think about it. All it is a Raspberry Pi CM4 or a CB1 with the touchscreen. Functionally, it's the exact same as having a separate touchscreen and a separate controller. Either a Raspberry Pi 4 or a CB1 or any of the other equivalents. So if you want a touchscreen and you have a Pi CM4 or you're fine using the CB1, go for it. You're not losing anything. Unlike the Sonic Pad. The Pad 5/Pad 7 is what the Sonic Pad should have been. So. A machine to tinker and improve. Well, here's the problem. The beauty of the cheap Creality machines is they're just generic parts. There's nothing special to them. They're V-wheel extrusions. They're V-slot extrusions. There's nothing special. So you can just bolt on whatever. The K1 is custom. Let's take a look at the K1 here. Okay. So, this tool head, these rods are, if I haven't been able to verify it, if they're like the Bambu, they're epoxied into these XY joints, which means the bearings, not even bearings, they're bushings. That's why you see all the grease, are captive in here. So if you want to change anything up, you pretty much have to rebuild this entire tool head. You're not just strapping stuff to extrusions. Like everything in here, the XY joints, the Z, the bed, the enclosure has nothing. There's nowhere to mount anything in this enclosure. Even the fan. The reason the fan rattles so much, the current air fan on the side here, the reason this fan rattles so much is because they literally just drilled holes in the side panel that's super thin and it's made out of acrylic, and they just screwed it to that. There's nothing to really tinker in here because you'd have to completely custom it. There's no way to bolt stuff on. There's no way to easily adapt stuff for this machine. The tool head, you're limited. You do anything to that tool head, you're losing XYZ, or may not even be able to close it anymore. Like it's not a platform to tinker. If you want a platform to tinker, get an Ender 6. Get the one that's built out of aluminum extrusions and off-the-shelf parts that you can just modify. Like the K1 is not a machine to tinker with because it's going to be a pain in the butt. It's like I started with the Monoprice Select Mini as my first printer. That thing had a stamped sheet metal frame. Doing mods to that thing was a pain because you were limited by the fact that it's a stamped sheet metal frame. You can only do so much to it. So, yeah. Or get a Voron. Yeah, that bend in the Bowden tube. That I've seen a few people. People were commenting on the video that, oh, it's not finished because they have the Bowden taken out. Because you see the Bowden's not in the drag chain. They had to take it out because the bend here is way too tight and it's causing way too much drag on the filament. And as we learned from the Bambu AMS, a very tight Bowden like that, you're going to wear through it. So this will just eat the Bowden tube. So you have to stick it out. And now it's pushing on the top hat because there's not a lot of clearance above. That's why they don't have the top hat on the machine. Because it's rubbing on that the whole time. And the drag chain is rubbing on the X rod. And you also have a 6mm rod for your Y, but an 8mm for your X instead of, the other way around. Because 6mm rods would probably droop at this scale. Yeah, it's like you can't really change anything in here. How do you like? One thing I'm going to try doing when I get a K1, if it does show up, is try to replace the bearings in it. Creality did not use high quality bearings. It's a high-speed Core XY system. There's a lot of force on those bearings, and they're whipping around at high speeds. What are you going to do when the bearings die? Can you easily replace the bearings? That's something I'm going to check into. Like, at least Bambu, you get a 1-year warranty where you can ship it back to them. I don't know how Creality is with their warranty. People who have tried Creality warranties in the past, how is that? Steve, I'm doing good. It's 10 millimeter rods on. Is that 10 mil on the X? Is that 10 mil? I'm just trying to figure out why they used thicker rods on the X, which is the part that moves. You have thicker rods on the parts that move and thinner rods on the part that doesn't. There's more weight. These rods and these rods are the same distance, okay? This rod right here and this rod right here are the same length. You have more weight on these rods because you have the tool head and the whole X gantry. So you're gonna get more flex on these rods than you're gonna get on these rods because these only support the weight of the tool head. Okay, this supports half the tool head and half the gantry, and the tool head ain't that heavy. What? And then I do love how they had to grind this little panel clip here to clear the little step here. And you can see the grease build up. Drag chain routing on that. Like, you can tell it's built to a price point. It's built to a price point hardcore. And the belts are crooked because they use 9 millimeter or 10 millimeter bearings on 6 mil belts. So the belts wander up and down. And every time your belt's not perpendicular, you're putting more force on one side of the bearing than the other. You're going to wear out the needle bearings quicker. Creality brings a product, doesn't sell, they drop support. Exactly. How's everyone who bought an Ender 7 doing right now? About the Troodon 2.0? No clue. Don't have one. And yeah. What is the Troodon V2? Is that the one that's basically can I copy your homework? Sure, just don't, put your name on it. And then they just copied it. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea how this machine is. They have nothing to do with Voron. They've never reached out to us. Troodon is foreign bot, by the way. Like the Vivendo is foreign bot, the ones that sell the kits. So I have no idea how this machine is. I have no idea how it is when it comes to upgradability. Like, I don't know. It could be fine. It could be a lemon. I have no idea. Look at that drag chain. Beautiful. They're still using the afterburner, which is outdated now. I have no idea. Could be fine. Could be a steaming pile of junk. No idea. I have no larger YouTubers. I have no idea. I don't talk to these companies too often. Like, literally my conversations with companies, other than like some of the smaller distributors, like, Fabrico, I wouldn't call LDO small, but like LDO, those I talk to. With like Creality and Saval, I get like an email out of the blue going, hey, do you want to check out our printer? And I'll go yes or no, and then they ask for my address, and then they send me the printer. That's the extent of my interaction with these companies. I don't go out to companies asking for printers. And I've never been paid to unbox a printer. Except from you guys. Art. Clipperized version of Troodon for $1,300 US. Okay, cool. I have no idea how it works. I've never, like... The problem is that I have with commercial Vorons. Hey, cool, we just updated everything. You're stuck with that printer because compatibility with things like, I have no idea. Can you put tap on that? I don't know. Like, if you're gonna buy a Voron, build a Voron. Why would you buy a potential limited? I don't know. Depends on the user. Like, I don't speak for everyone, obviously. Build the machine you want, buy the machine you want. At 350, would you go for Voron, Trident, or 400mm rat rig? At 350, I would go V2. Trident doesn't scale. In my opinion, Trident That's a 350 Trident. It's huge. It's huge on the XY, and it's a big bed that moves. I think the V-Core handles a bigger moving bed better than, I don't know, it's hard to say. I've never built it beyond 350. But beyond 350, yeah, go with the V-Core. If they're building a 350 Voron, go with the V2. If you're building bigger than 350, go with the V-Core. Because at least on the V2, the bed don't move. Trident caps at 300. That's kind of my agree. I agree with that. Trident makes more sense at the smaller. V2 makes more sense at the bigger. V2 scales better in the X and Y at 350. I mean, for example, the V24 is basically the same mechanism as a V2. What time are we at? We're at 12:40. Okay. I'm gonna have to end the stream a little bit early today, probably like around 1:30ish. Just for the package, if I don't miss it, or I don't want to miss a package and I have to sign for it, and it's out for delivery right now. So yeah. What be printing? We're printing calibration cubes. I'm checking out this filament here that I picked up at Rapid. It's PET with graphene. Although it's not printing too great, it's like under extruding. And then we're trying out PAM on the rat rig, which is really rounding corners. It really likes rounding these corners. So. For building printers and Aurora Tech, I've watched a few videos on Aurora Tech's channel. Is Aurora, like, anytime a channel has kids in it, like, is she the host or is she actually doing the reviews and there's like a parent or somebody? Like, as an adult of a little kid who watches like has suffered to watch channels like Ryan's Toy Review, it like anytime I see little kids on camera, I'm like, there's a parent behind it, like coaching them for everything. I have no idea if that channel's like that. I'm not assuming they are. I hope not. But like, I can't, that just, I don't know. It's because I've suffered through so much frickin' Ryan's Toy Reviews. I can't watch any channels where it's like a little kid hosting. I remember there was like 1 or 2 videos on a CNC that I actually used. Will V24 be scaled down? It already is. It's called the V2 series. V24 will technically not be released because what V24 is the test platform for what will be released, and it will still be that big because Max already has the frame for it. There is Orca Slicer. There's a web-based application and an what? It's a web-based application for Orca Slicer on an Unread server? I don't think this gives away any private info. Okay. Or Orca Slicer directly in your browser with this easy-to-use Docker container. This template has the minimum variables defined, but you can find additional details on the URL below. Last update, May 11th. So this means you can run Orca Slicer on an Unraid server and slice with anything with a web. So you can technically slice with your phone and upload it to the printer. Add container. Let's try this out. So this would be really kind of cool if you were like me and you have multiple different computers that you use to control printers. Can I check the current PA values? Sure. Wait, oh, why did that not update? I don't know why that didn't update. We'll try it again. I don't know why that didn't update. Maybe I didn't save it. Slicer profile sets it. What? Where would it be in the slicer profile? Where is it in the slicer profile? Filament G code. Pressure advance. Oh! How do I not have this in here? Disable that. There we go. That'll do it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's try this again. Oh shoot, I think we defaulted back to original speeds. We did, whatever. Shoot, okay, 1 second here. Oh yeah, this is PLA. Okay. Enable pressure advance. There we go. Save. Slice plate. Print. Oh wait, no, I can't do that. Try this again. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, command finished. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so now dashboard, container started. Web UI. How does this work? I have no idea how this works. Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out later. So PLA, not crazy loud. Cool. So we'll let that do. So we have our graphene here. It don't look too hot. It's like, it does that thing where it like under extrudes every little bit. It's like Ender quality. Maybe you can't print as fast as I thought. Hail the inanimate graphene cube. Should be dried out first. Actually, it's probably soaked. Let's be honest, it's probably soaked. Because the bag that I had a hole in it, and then it was on an airplane. Let's just try a normal filament now. See how that goes. PTG. I'm just going to run the PTG profile and just drop the temp. It is Friday, my dudes. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And then it's Sunday. And then it's Saturday, then it's Sunday. All the prints. Well, we're just printing cubes. Like, how do I hold all these cubes? Have you seen the plugin for Input Shaper where you can see the graphs right from the Klipper interface? I have not seen that. So I have not seen that. If you have a link for it, can you link it in the Discord? I'll take a look at it. And if you're not a member of the Discord, join the Discord. It's fun. How is Doggo? He's getting old. He's doing good though. Track my package. Is it here yet? Out for delivery. Damn it. Okay, so this is what we got to figure out. While that's doing that and this is doing that, we need to figure out what we're doing for the community challenge. So every month we do a community challenge on the Discord. And so far, I haven't really thought of what we're going to do for this month's community challenge. So last month was like funny prints. The month before was like little prints. The month before that was like functional prints. I've done show off your print area. So we need a challenge and something that anyone has a shot at entering. You got to remember that. So I don't want like design me something because not everyone can CAD. It's got to be basically like something that anyone has a fair chance of winning. And then we need at least 2 categories. Big effing prints. We've done cosplay. That we did that in October. We did like Halloween, so costumes and whatnot. Prints with moving parts, armor or props. Yeah, we did that in October. We did that. The 1 hour challenge. 1 hour challenge. You would have to upload the G code and a picture. Yeah. 1 hour and 3 hour. That would be kind of cool. A 1 hour print. So basically I give you 1 hour and I give you like 5 hours. And you have to print the most impressive thing in 1 hour print time and a 5 hour print time. But the thing is that's going to limit those that are running high speed machines. That's the thing. Print in place things. Ooh, print in place things is nice. Smallest print, no. Rocket contest. Things in 5 hours. And then max on the V24, we'll just smoke them because, you know, that thing does a meter a second. It's amazing what you can do with 5160 high volts and NEMA 23s. When you're not Creality and shoving them in an Ender 3. Big, ooh, you know what? Thick. Take care, Mickle. I'm thinking thick nozzle prints. Like where layer line, because here's the thing, I'm a sucker for the aesthetic of a 3D print. I love fat layer lines. It's kind of a thing I like. So maybe that. Functional overhang, no. Yes, yes. So what would be the 2 categories? So then what would be the 2 categories? Yeah, 1.8. Yeah, thick print. So, okay, so category is thick prints. So that's, okay, so new May 23 challenge. Channel. Skip. Okay. So thick prints. We're doing thick prints. So I want to see your prints with thick nozzles that accentuate layer lines, because I like the look of that. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. Thick prints and thick and thin. Actually, yeah, we'll do thick and thin. Doggo wants out. Actually, speaking of doggo, no doggo. No doggo. PAs in the filament. Yeah, I turned it off. So we're doing actual 0.25, which is, I think, looking a lot better already. So, 0.2 nozzle. What whiskey do you like? My normal is JP Weiser's, like my go-to whiskey. No, printed place would be its own thing, I think. Okay, so how do you spell weather? Weather. How do you spell weather? Not that weather, the other weather. Vex, hello everyone. Okay, so so you've got a 1.5 or an itty bitty 1.5 Clogomatic. So okay, so the rules are two categories. So if you do enter, you got to spell thick with THICCC, 3 C's. It's important. Don't you hate when you're writing something, you hit enter, you didn't mean to? What is the last Friday in May? That is 26. And I believe that's a 2 p.m. start. Okay. A challenge. Nope, not create invite. Permissions. Not a private channel. Save. But we do have a 2-hour timer. Okay, community challenge is live. Pin that. Why are you that? That's not what I want. There we go. Edit, create fed, pin message, pin at everyone, community challenge is live. And don't talk in the channel. Don't talk in the channel. Post your entries. No, the channel is thick and thin. So, fat prints with fat nozzles and itty bitty tiny detail parts on Clogomatic 0.15s. So there we go. Do I still use the ERCFA? I do not, because the AMS basically does everything except for that AMS. That AMS is broken. I got to tear it apart, so I'm gonna build another AMS. I've got 2 of them. That one has a piece of broken filament in feed port 1, and I got to disassemble the whole thing. So I'm just gonna print the updated AMS or Hydra and put it in my other AMS. Get ready for the bots. What bots? You got no bots. Like the smash button though. And we have probably another 20 minutes. We'll wrap the stream up. Thoughts on Bambu banning mods? They've reversed that decision already, because frankly it was a dumb decision. But they've already reversed it. They've already reversed it. So, and I'm not on their Facebook group because it's Facebook and it's a hive of scum and villainy, so I can't see what goes on their Facebook group. But somebody sent me pictures of it this morning. So they weren't banning mods. So to be fair, their Facebook group is the official Facebook group, and their communities are their communities to police as they see fit. Okay. You could judge them on it, but it's their community. They're allowed to control how they control their official communities. And they basically put out a rule saying they talk of mods was banned. They reversed that decision pretty quick, but that was a rule that, you know, they put out this morning, and they've already reversed it. So sounds like you like Facebook. I do not like Facebook. I have a Facebook. I use it to share pictures with family members that I don't see and communicate with some old coworkers, and that's about it. There's I have 20 people on my Facebook, and it is not public. What do I think about rat rig for mass production? Depends on your use case. If you need enclosed printers that you want to build yourself, they seem okay. I don't know. I've only got the one machine, and we literally finished it last week. So I do know people that are able to print large volume single piece ABS prints can command some pretty expensive fees to do so. So a 500 cubed enclosed ABS capable machine probably is not a bad option for some, but yeah. What Hotend? I got a Revo in here. And actually, I don't know I don't think I ever tuned PA on here. I don't even think I have input shape. I haven't done input shaper on this guy yet either. Yeah. Hard to build a V0? You can do it in a day if you know what you're doing. I think we are over extruding. And actually, yeah, that temperature's too hot. And this is over extrusion. Voron build versus rat rig. I probably will. I need to get more print time on the rat rig itself. The next video I do, I'm actually waiting on my new camera for this, or at least the new lens, because like I've been trying to do videos where I move around a lot, like I change up the camera angle a lot, and the fact that this autofocus doesn't quite work too well, and it's super annoying. Waiting on the new lens to show up for that. So hopefully it's supposed to be in today. But the next video that I do, you're gonna get a bunch of rapid videos. So this video this weekend will be a rapid video. Probably Pantheon and maybe Bofa. Pantheon and somebody else. Maybe LDO. Or LDO and Pantheon. I don't know, one or the other. Depends on how long the videos turn out to be. And then there will be a video about so you want to build a Voron. Going over all the different Vorons and a little backstory and which one you should build and whatnot. Because I get asked a lot which Voron I should build, so I figure I might as well do a video on it. Yeah. 190 Tiny M or modded Prusa Mini for PLA PETG. Do you want to buy a printer or do you want to build a printer? If you want to buy a printer, Mini. If you want to build a printer, Tiny M. And also, if anyone's interested in buying a Sony a6400, let me know. And they live in Southern Ontario. I got to figure out how much I can get for that. Hopefully, the more I can get for it, the better. Because I really want to get an FX3 now. I know a lot of its features would be wasted on me, but after watching, if you watched, you want to know what video did it for me? The video I put out Wednesday. On Wednesday, I put out a video. It was Max's talk at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest. Okay. So Max did his little talk at Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest. This video is what did it for me, where I'm like, the GoPro is, while I really like how easy and simple and great it is for these kind of events, this quality is not great. I am not happy with the quality of this video. Audio is fine because I managed to lav him up. Although I should have had another mic for people in the audience when they were asking questions. But watching this video, watch it if you haven't. It's a good video. It's a good little half-hour talk video. But like, just how hazy and washed out the colors are, and like, look at Steve. Look how blurry Steve is. Steve doesn't deserve that. So, yeah. That and like fixed zoom the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Rook build when? Whenever I get the kit from Fabrico. Oh wait, is this the BQ filament? Yeah, that's the BQ filament. This filament's shit. What nozzles do I use? Revos. I use Revos. Where is my Revo high flows? Oh, they're upstairs. Couch doesn't help. So yeah, so the A6400, I like it, but it only does 4K 30, and when I do 4K 30, it crops in already. And so yeah, I'm like, I don't want to get an FX30. Okay, the problem with 7 series Sony, it's double the price of an FX30. I don't need a camera. So these are hybrids. They do pictures and video. They got a little eye thingy. I don't need that. I just need video. I just need video. So yeah, the Sony A7 series with its full frame is great, but I'm not doing pictures. So any picture, you know, advantage, like an actual mechanical shutter, is a waste for me. The FX30 has much less rolling shutter. It's APS-C, so lenses are cheaper. I've already got the lens on the way. It's supposed to be in today. Better and low light than that. It can do 4K 160 or 120. 4K 60 and 4K 30 have barely any crop, which more crop on an APS-C is more crop. So yeah. Got my Bambu Lab X1C and I'm so blown away. Awesome. Just make sure you follow the maintenance with it, with the carbon rods. Keep an eye on that. So yeah, so I was looking at getting a ZV-E10, but the thing with the ZV-E10, here's the problem. It's basically this camera with image stabilization. That's it. It's basically, I'm replacing, this camera's fine. It has no image stabilization. So anytime I record anything, because I shake, it has to be on a tripod. So I basically will be buying this camera again, just with image stabilization. And it's like, it's more of a side grade than a true upgrade. Yeah, it's not enough of an upgrade. So it's like, basically, if I'm gonna upgrade it, I'm gonna upgrade it. And hopefully I can get a grand plus for that with the cage and everything that I can, you know. Hey, Steve, how you doing, buddy? Your tremors, how much is stabilization worth? You want to know how bad it is? Are you on? Yeah, you're on. Okay, so we're in video mode. Okay. So you ready? This is, I'm recording it, 2 hands. Now, granted, this lens doesn't have image stabilization and this body doesn't have image stabilization. So I am just holding it here now. Let me, like, so this is as stable as I can get it. Okay. So if you want to see why I don't freehand cameras, so this is what's called essential tremors. This is me holding my hand as steady as I can, holding a camera. And if you're wondering how much image stabilization helps, this is with image stabilization on a GoPro. This is the lowest level of image stabilization on a GoPro. I'm holding the camera here with just one hand too. So you can still see a little bit of the shake, but this is just basic image stabilization. It's just the GoPro has like issues with dark, like all the darks are grainy. So yeah, I need image stabilization. So yeah, I could put it on a gimbal, but I don't want to have to carry a gimbal. Like I'd rather just use the camera and just with image stabilization. And the advantage is, I think the ZV-E10 does it too, but for those that fly quadcopters, the ZV-E10 and the FX3 actually record gyro data. So what you can do is you can take your video, record it without image stabilization all the time, but if you need a clip that needs to be stabilized, you can pull it into Catalyst something and basically take the gyro data and post-process image stabilization into it with like a very minimal crop. So that's the thing. I would love to be able to, like, when I go to these events, use an actual good camera for B-roll. Because right now, this is my B-roll camera because it's got image stabilization. So we all get gear equity. Yeah. Does Canon allow 3D printed? No, we are not allowed to do the 3D pew pew pew. Yeah, we're not allowed to do the 3D pew pew. GoPro 11 cheap. I got a GoPro 10. It's not worth an upgrade. Do I have a webcam on my Trident? Yeah, I've got on the Trident, I've got like a Pi cam stuck against the back. So it's basically, because remember on a Trident, the gantry doesn't move. I've got it like stuck on the back panel, like just above the back extrusion. So I can actually show you here. So this is the view on the Trident. So yeah, it's literally just, it is literally a Pi cam VHB to the back panel with a ribbon cable. So. Are more severe when you're doing something specific? Yes, Sebas. Anytime I'm trying to do anything precise, it basically like flips the switch for him. So even if I'm not paying attention, like if I'm like holding somebody's hand or whatever, like it's noticeable. But if I'm like trying to like solder or whatever, so it's always fun when somebody points it out on stream. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know I did that. I've been living with it my whole life and never realized. But yeah, although, do you want the best part? Still qualified marksman 3 years in a row in the Canadian Forces. So how about them apples? What do you think about the Mercury 1 upgrade for an Ender 5? Go for it. Steve just did a build series on it. Steve, I don't know if Steve's still here. He might know more. Here is aimbot. No, I just know how to really plant for a C7 on a rundown. Oh, he's still working on it. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we're gonna do the giveaway. Yeah, let's do the giveaway. We'll do the giveaway at 1:20 because I'm probably gonna end the stream just after that. Got in. Yep. So if you haven't entered for your chance to win some filament from Polymaker, link in the description. And if you just want to, hey, you just want to buy some. That way you can just get whatever you want, as many as you want now. Well, once it arrives. Link in the description, affiliate link. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but actually goes a long way in supporting the channel. How does a Pi cam hold up in the heated chamber? So far, so good. Turning off hyper smooth and putting the camera on a small gimbal, but defeats the point of the compact setup. I need the hyper smooth. Can cleaning carbon fiber rods too often be damaging? I don't know. That's the only machine I've ever had carbon fiber rods on, so it's kind of hard to. There's a giveaway. There's a giveaway every stream, Ajax. Every stream. You're green. You should know this. The pressure advance is much better on this, though, I will say. Check with Joel because AMS. No, in my case, it's a piece of filament broke in the one feeder, and it's like jammed. So I got to take it apart and clean it out, which is super annoying. It's funny, taking that apart voids your warranty, but the thing is designed in a way that the filament feed path, the Bowden tubes, will eat themselves. So you have to be able to take an AMS apart for maintenance, because it will destroy itself. It will eat itself. Bowden tube is a consumable, and the fact that it does a hard 90 degree, you're going to wear through Bowden tubes in that thing eventually, and you're going to have to replace them. So. Oldest bamboo is starting to lose a pulley. They replace it for a pulley again. It's these machines, the whole right to repair thing. If you're into that, these machines are just a nightmare for it. Like when I get the K1, I'm not gonna build. I'm not gonna print on it. We're just gonna take the printer apart. I want to see how easy it is to fix it. Because like if you have a bearing, it's high speed Core XY. You will lose bearings because these companies aren't putting the best bearings in their machines. You're gonna blow bearings. and you're gonna have to replace them. Where did, yeah. Well, did you see the video of Buddy's bearings? Lights, where is it? Yeah, this. Okay. Looks like user reporting worn carbon rods with their printer, resulting in play in the tool head. Support claims that's okay, even though quality got worse. So yeah, so here's your bushing. These aren't bearings, these are bushings, by the way. Look how much freaking slop there is there. That print looks like ass. And they're like, oh, play in the tool head is normal. Actually, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. We're gonna do a giveaway in a minute. Let's take a little looky-loo here. Okay. Let's take a little looky-loo here. Come with me. Okay. Okay. So, can you replace a bearing? If, okay, let's say one of these X joint bearings goes. I don't think there's anything under there. Nope, nothing under there. Okay. You can't. Okay, so you got 4 screws on the side here. There's nothing from the top. I think. Is that a pin? Is it a pin holding that in? Is that riding on a pin? Are the bearings on pins? Okay. So your bearing is you can see that pin there. You can see that pin is pressed in. So that bearing, and it's a blind hole. You cannot replace that bearing. That's a blind hole. There's nothing from the bottom. So that bearing is on a pin that's pressed in, and it's a blind hole. So if that bearing goes, you're not replacing it. What about the front ones? Front ones are in a giant assembly. Those aren't getting replaced. Back ones. There's one bearing at the back you can get at. This one here. That on. Nope, that's in an assembly. What about this bottom one at least? Nope. Yeah. See, even like these guys. You can't get at them. There's nothing underneath. Can't see that. Focus. Zoom out. That might help. Okay. So even these guys, and these are those 3mm pins? Like, you're not getting at these. You can't replace any of these. That one you can replace. This assembly comes out, I believe. You can replace this bearing. But these two, you're not replacing. You'd have to take apart the whole machine. You got nothing from above to get at. That screw isn't for it. This bushing is attached to the X rods, which are epoxied into here. So these bushings you can't replace. Like, you can't fix anything on this machine if it breaks. You can't. Okay, let's do a giveaway. Tuxedo Football, $5. Cheers. Thanks for all your... Any idea what I should look for on 2.4 if input shaper graphs are full of resonances? Tuning guys, make sure your belts are good, make sure bearings are good, make sure everything's nice and tight. You should have one peak, I believe. And if you run into more questions, I'd say go on the Voron Discord. I think they have a whole section for input shaping. Like, the machines are good for those that need it. For those that just want a machine that you just take out of the box and print, it's probably the best option there is for like an actual high-speed capable machine. I take a P1P any day over, you know, a Cheaty or K1 or like the whatever the heck King Rune's coming out with you. Remember, these companies made their name selling cheap budget bin machines. They're not going to pivot to building mid-priced, high-quality machines overnight. Okay, so if you didn't enter to win some filament, you'll have another chance on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, and we'll do some V0 stuff. We're actually going to do some soldering, get the panels put in. We'll finally input shape this thing so it doesn't print like poo-poo. What multicolor would you recommend, X1C or P1P with AMS? Either or. AMS functions the same with both. If you are printing mostly PLA and PETG, get a P1P. If you plan on printing enclosed stuff like ABS, nylons, etc., get an X1C. Bambu has some solution. Yeah, it's send the machine back and we'll just swap it with another one. Why are y'all putting numbers out? I didn't ask for numbers. What's going on with the Delta? It's still on the ground. We'll get back to that at some point. The Delta is kind of the when we're between builds faffing about. Somebody just put a number out. Whoever's the next person to put a number out that's not a stupidly high number, we'll go with. So everyone spam numbers for engagement. 100. I'm not counting to 100. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, the computer algorithm knows. Okay, that's much better. A little bit under extruded. Could have used a bit more heat. But that is much better with the input shaping, or the pressure advance. ARF 200. Congratulations, you have won yourself a spool of Polymaker filament. So you'll get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament. So congratulations, ARF. Filament going okay? Feeding okay. That looks like poo-poo though, but I haven't tuned this machine yet. And that I realized after I loaded that B2 filament is like garbage. It doesn't matter what machine you print it on, it prints like garbage. It's like really inconsistent. Okay, so we're gonna end it there, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna end it there. Tomorrow's stream, we will be working on the V0. I've got panels to solder up, so we're gonna be doing a bunch of soldering on stream tomorrow. We're gonna be doing those fancy LED panels. So I gotta buy diffusers. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna use for diffuser. So yeah, so we're gonna end it there. Shout out to Rat Rig again. You know, this wasn't a V-Core stream for the kit, and Manila Roseworks for the panels and enclosure and the bed on that machine, because we did do it. LDO for the stuff on this, because we did a bunch of mods. And for those that donated to the stream, became members of the channel, or gifted memberships to others, I thank you. Would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create without your continued support. You make it all possible. I'm gonna go eat something before I go pick up the little guy from school, because I am hungry. And it's Friday, so enjoy your weekends, folks. Enter the community challenge, link in the description. Join the Discord if you haven't. Next week, we may do the members stream. I may do the members stream, so if you're a member of the channel or Patreon supporter, look out. Every month we do a members only live stream, the Only Benchy Yacht Club, which, by the way, if you're an artistic person and you want to do a logo for the Only Benchy Yacht Club, like a nautical themed like logo, let me know. I need one for merch purposes. So yeah, we're gonna call it there. Be safe out there, wash your hands, enjoy your weekend. Bye. 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 I'm hungry. I got spaghetti. Intro. Where'd the intro go? There we go.